What's going on? Welcome to the video. Today I'm talking about the most important things to look for in a protein bar to make sure that you're better able to hit your fitness goals, whether that be losing body fat, building muscle, but I'm talking about it in regards to aesthetic-based goals. And I'm also going to review some of the most popular protein bars on the market, which I've personally tried. I'm not going to review any bars that I haven't already tried myself. There's literally thousands of products on the market right now, and unfortunately, a lot of them aren't that good. They either have terrible macros, or they have a whole lot of sugar, or they're super high calories, or they just taste terrible. And a very common mistake I see guys making is having a protein bar thinking that it's a healthier option or a good option for their goals, but oftentimes it's actually not beneficial to their goals at all. So hopefully this video clears things up for you so you can know exactly what to look for when picking out a protein bar. And if you do get value from this video and it's helpful, go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you can get notified when I make more videos just like this every single week. Now let me make it clear that I don't love a protein bar as an everyday option as a snack. I would much prefer a high quality whey protein powder in that spot instead of a protein bar. That being said, it can be a good option or a good alternative from time to time, and especially over other common snacks if you have fitness goals that are physique-based or aesthetic-based goals of like losing body fat or building muscle or a little bit of both. And the reason for that isn't because there's anything special about protein bars that magically makes them, a good snack option. The reason is because the macros in some particular protein bars, macros are proteins, carbs, and fats. So the amount of proteins, carbs, and fats in a protein bar can be extremely favorable to other common snacks like nuts, trail mix, a candy bar, yogurt, cereal, and so on. So when picking out a protein bar at the grocery store or the gas station or wherever you are, there's 4 key markers that I recommend you look at on the nutrition label to determine which one is the best for you. And what those 4 markers are on the nutrition label are total calories, protein, carbs, and fats. And obviously, if you have fat loss goals and you're in a fat loss phase, finding a protein bar that is the fewest amount of calories possible is probably going to be in your best interest because you're not going to want to use a big chunk of your calories on just a protein bar and as a snack, right? You'd like to save the majority of your calories for your actual meals. So what should you look for in regards to the macros, the proteins, carbs, and fats to determine a protein bar that might be a good option for you? I'll tell you what numbers I generally look for in a protein bar, and you can decide if you want to kind of adopt those numbers as well, or if you want to come up with your own numbers that you are going to look for in a protein bar. There's really no right or wrong, but this is what I personally do, and this is what I recommend to my clients in the Modern Man program. I want a protein bar that has at least 15 grams of protein in it, right? Most of the ones that I'm going to review on this list have more than that, but 15 grams of protein seems like a bare minimum for a snack that you're calling a protein snack, right? A protein bar. Most are going to have between 15 and 25 grams of protein. If it's below 15 grams, chances are there's going to be more carbs and fats in there than actual protein. When it comes to carbohydrates, this one is a little bit more flexible. I like to look for something in the 15 grams of carbs, maybe up to 30 grams. And that's where most protein bars will fall. They'll fall kind of within the 20s in regards to grams of carbs. And again, there's really no right or wrong here, and that's a decently wide range, but it all depends on how many carbs you're happy using towards your protein bar and how much you want to save for your actual meals. Now, when it comes to fats, this is an important one. What I look for is a protein bar that has under 10 grams of fat per bar. And the reason for that is because if you're going higher than 10 grams of fat, you're going to really start to rack up the calories pretty quickly. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather eat foods that have more fat in them because they generally taste pretty good. I don't want to be eating well over 100 or 200 or 300 calories worth of fat in my protein bar. I want to have the protein bar mainly as a protein source. So for that reason, I look for protein bars generally that are in the 5 to 10 grams of fat range. And if you follow those markers with the macros, naturally the amount of calories in your protein bar will kind of fall into place, okay? And what I mean by that is most protein bars are going to be between 200 and 400 calories. And if you're having a protein bar, that's what kind of you can expect to allocate for a snack like that. Obviously, 400 calories or so being towards the higher end, and that being, you know, a pretty expensive, in regard to calories, a pretty calorie expensive snack, whereas the closer you can get to 200 calories in a protein bar, the more beneficial it'll be for fat loss. So now that you know the 4 main markers of what to look for on the nutrition label of a protein bar, it's also worth mentioning if you want to pay attention to the sugar as well, you can do that if you don't want to have a protein bar that's loaded up with sugar. That being said, the reason why I don't consider that a major deciding factor in my protein bar is because most of them won't have more than, say, 20 grams of sugar. That's towards the high end. And I don't eat a particularly super high sugar diet anyway. I generally have pretty solid meals. I try to include vegetables and protein in each meal. And I kind of save my desserts or treats for about once or twice in the week. So because I'm not eating a high sugar diet anyway, having a protein bar with 15 grams of sugar or 20 grams of sugar, I'm not too worried about it. But who knows, if you eat sugar all the time and you have desserts every single day and you have super high sugar snacks all the time and maybe you're pre-diabetic or something like that, then of course, then you'd want to pick an option that has lower sugar amounts. So now what I'm going to do is quickly review some of the most popular protein bars on the market right now and basically give you some feedback on the macros and the nutrition label for each one. And I'm also going to review the taste because these are all bars that I've tried personally multiple times. So first up, I've got the Quest bar, and I'm going to review the cookies and cream flavor because all the flavors have slightly different macros, and the macros on this bar are very good, which is why I am a decent fan of the Quest bars. About 21 grams of carbs, 21 grams of protein, and 8 grams of fat. It also says there's 15 grams of dietary fiber in here, which is like amazing, and only 1 gram of sugar with no added sugars. So pretty solid bar. For the taste, I don't love it, I'll be honest with you. These bars are often pretty hard and they don't taste amazing. That being said, what you're paying for is more so the great macros as opposed to having an amazing tasting bar. What you'll also notice with most protein bars is that there's a pretty long list of ingredients. So 10 or 20 or even 30 ingredients listed in just a tiny little bar, and that's one reason why I don't particularly love the idea of having a protein bar every single day, because not only are you squeezing all these ingredients into one little bar, but to get 21 grams of protein into one bar, oftentimes they're not going to taste that great and they're not the best for digestion, even though it's got 15 grams of carbs, this particular Quest bar does. I find that if I have a protein bar every single day for a week or more, that my stomach actually starts to hurt a little bit. So next up, I'm going to review the Pure Protein bars, and I'm actually a pretty big fan of these ones. They're one of my favorite options. They've got a whole lot of flavors, just like the Quest bar does. And for this one, I'm going to be reviewing the chocolate peanut butter flavor. So we've got 7 grams of fat, 17 grams of carbs, and 20 grams of protein. There's also 2 grams of sugar, 1 gram of added sugar, and 1 gram of fiber. So this bar, again, similar macros to the Quest bar, a little bit lower on the calories. It's exactly 200 calories. And I would say that I like the taste of these Pure Protein bars better than I like the Quest bars. So next up, we've got the One bar, which I would probably say is my favorite of all the bars that I'm going to be reviewing here in regards to having really good taste, but also really good macros as well. It's definitely the best tasting one compared to the Pure Protein and the Quest bar, in my opinion. And this particular one is the chocolate chip cookie dough, and the macros are 8 grams of fat, 23 grams of carbs, and 20 grams of protein. It's also got 3 grams of fiber, 1 gram of sugar, and looks like it's got some sugar alcohol in there as well. So very good macros. It's about 230 calories for the bar, and like I said, it tastes pretty good as well. Next up, we've got the Clif Bar, which is one of the most popular bars, and you may be surprised to hear this, but I don't even consider the Clif Bar a protein bar because protein, there's not a whole lot in it. There's only 9 grams of protein, and I told you before that I look for at least 15 grams of protein in a protein bar, right? So for me, it's not a great option, especially if you're in a fat loss phase. I've got the chocolate chip flavor here, which actually tastes pretty decent. I'm a fan of how they taste. And of course, I'm gonna like how they taste because they've got 21 grams of sugar, they've got 45 grams of carbs, 5 grams of fat, so that's good. It's only 5 grams of fat, but like I said, only 9 grams of protein, much higher on the sugar. It's mainly a carb source. Next up, I've got the RX bar, which again is similar to the Clif Bar in that I don't necessarily consider it a protein bar because there's not a whole lot of protein in it. There's about 12 grams of protein. Here I've got the chocolate sea salt flavored one, and they actually taste pretty good. I'm a fan of how they taste, and this bar is more for people who are more health conscious rather than going towards aesthetic or physique based goals, in my opinion. The main argument for an RX bar is that they limit the ingredients. There's not a long list of 20 or 30 ingredients like most other protein bars. There's generally 5 to 10 ingredients, and you know what they all are. You know, dates, egg whites, cashews, almonds, chocolate. You recognize all of what the ingredients are, and they use whole food. So that is a good part of these bars, in my opinion. But the macros themselves are not great. For this particular bar, it's 9 grams of fat, 23 grams of carbs, 12 grams of protein. You've also got 5 grams of fiber and 13 grams of sugar. So again, not terrible macros. You're just not getting a whole lot of protein. You're not even hitting the minimum protein requirement, you know, according to my scale, which is 15 grams of protein. So these can be a nice option as a healthier alternative if that's what you're looking for. But in regards to physique-based goals or a really macro-friendly bar, it's not the best option. And the final bar I'll review here is the Kind protein bar, the crunchy peanut butter flavor. Again, another really popular bar, and one that I see a lot of guys tell me that they're actually eating already, you know, before they sign up to work with me. And the truth is, I pretty much hate this bar in regards to the macros, right? It's not a super calorie friendly or macro friendly option. There's 18 grams of fat per bar, there's 17 grams of carbs, and there's only 12 grams of protein. So it's 250 calories for this little tiny bar. It's not even gonna keep you that full because there's barely any protein in it. And it tastes good, but that's really the only benefit of it right there. For 18 grams of fat, like, you could have 3 whole eggs, right? 3 whole eggs is only going to be about 180 calories. It's going to get you 18 grams of protein. It's going to be about 15 grams of fat, and you're going to get all sorts of vitamins and minerals and benefits, and you're going to be way more full from those 3 eggs than from this tiny little bar. And that's going to wrap up the video here, man. I hope this was helpful and it really gave you some clarity on what to look for in a protein bar so that you can be as efficient and effective as possible with your nutrition and with your snacks. And if you'd like to connect further, you can check out the links down in the description below to my social media accounts and my application for my Modern Man program if you'd like to work together on reaching your fitness goals. And I will see you on the next video.